The White House getting an earful this week from some top Democrats over Obamacare. Senators Jeanne Shaheen, Dianne Feinstein, and Mark Udall, just some of the party's prominent members, now voicing concerns over the potential impact of the botched health care rollout on next year's midterm elections. Angela McGowan is a Fox News political analyst, and Richard Fowler is a Democratic strategist and radio talk show host. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Rich, the New York Times now says the consensus is that the GOP took the bigger hit over the government shutdown than Democrats, but now the troubled health care rollout, quote, will cut into that benefit and cost Democratic candidates in next year's midterm elections. Do you agree?
I'm not sure if I agree with that exactly. I think what we've seen from the American people, and if you look at some recent polls in most generic ballots, the Democrats are up 9 or 10 points because I think the shutdown had a larger impact than this Obamacare rollout actually had. Because I think the American people sort of believe at the end of the day this is going to work out. A lot of them are seeing benefits because their kids are now back on their parents' health care, insurance, and stuff like that. So I think because of that, I think the impact is really going to be on the Republican Party here as we go into the 2014 elections.
All right, Angela, the New York Times article also says the anxious Democrats include not only senators and House members facing hotly contested races, but also those whose seats are considered safe, as well as lawmakers in states with Republican governors and even states with Democratic governors who've made every effort to sign up the uninsured. You know, that sounds like a lot of anxious states to me.
It's a lot of anxious states. And Patty Ann, what we're seeing unfold right now is the old cliche, self-preservation is the first law of nature. And when President Clinton was in office, we saw Republicans take over the House and the Senate. So seasoned politicians, especially those progressive and those liberals, they remember back then where President Clinton signed 70% of the contract with America, which were conservative proposals. So I think Democrats are not only looking at the midterm elections, they're looking at the long haul. What if the Senate and the House goes back to Republicans? Their whole agenda is dead in the water.
Well, yeah. So, Rich, as we mentioned, there have now been several closed-door meetings between Democratic lawmakers and the White House administration officials involved in the health care rollout. Some of what they're looking to do is extending the enrollment period, delaying penalties for those who don't enroll. But also, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia is quoted as saying that the problems go beyond that and include these individual plans that we're hearing are being canceled because they don't meet the coverage requirements, and also a lack of choice in some parts of the country. This according to Manchin. So can all of that be fixed?
I think it can be fixed. I got to tell you, Patty, and I think the American people will judge this president not on how this rollout went, but on how this plan looks a year from now, or how the Affordable Care Act looks a year from now. And a year from now, millions of people will actually get benefits of the individuals that are going to be using the exchange. 50% of them have pre-existing conditions, and on top of that, 50% of them will also qualify for a tax credit, which are great things for the American people to understand. And I think what this White House has to do is communicate the benefits of the Affordable Care Act to the American people. And as the American begin to enroll in this law, they will see the benefits.
Angela?
Rich, they have communicated what this law will do, and the bottom line is the president said that if you like your current health care policy, you can keep it. You can keep your current doctor, and what we're seeing is millions of people losing not only their care, but also their doctors and also their health care plans.
But
and
Angela,
we're seeing people lose jobs. Hold on, Rich. And Delta Airlines even said to actually implement Obamacare is going to cost them millions of dollars. UPS is now cutting back their employees, covering their spouses with their health care plan. So I don't know how the administration and Democrats can actually combat this where they can say it's going to be better for the American people when we're seeing differently.
Quick last word, Rich.
That's just not true, Angela. I think if you look at the most recent jobs report, we see the average hours worked per employee is increasing. And beyond that point, people are beginning to see the benefits of their law. Parents who have their children in college can now get their kids back on health care. Beyond that, let's talk about the facts here. And these plans, and I hate the word when they use the word cancellation, because it's not really canceling the plan. What they're doing is upgrading them to a better plan that has more benefits. It raises the floor for all Americans, Angela, and that's the truth of the matter.
Tell that to some of the cancer patients. Tell that to some of the cancer patients.
A lot of those cancer patients would not have gotten health care because they had pre-existing conditions.
Folks, I'm being told I've got to wrap you guys. You can carry it on off camera if you'd like. Angela McGowan, Rich Fowler, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.